Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, sir.
Is acid rain. Now, acid rain terms to describe about the all snow, fog, dew, rain, etc., which are more acidic than normal water. Okay, this acid rain terms about this acid rain terms about snow, fog, dew, which are more acidic than normal water. Okay. uh, Sometimes snowfall dew which are produced in the atmosphere, they are more acidic compared to normal water. So when they mixes with normal water, actually rainwater, and comes into the earth, is called acid rain. Okay. So we know that if it is more acidic, that means it has a pH value. Okay. So pH value of acid rain is about is about 5.6. Okay, generally it into the range into the
Sir, what is the pH?
5.6 to 3. pH is the criteria by which we can distinguish that a substance is a strong acid or weaker acid. pH full form of pH is potenge of potenge of hydrogen plus ion. A second.
Okay, sir.
The pH means potenge of H plus ion. Potenge means potenge means power. Okay. So basically pH means power of H plus. H plus means we know that an acid releases H plus ion in aqueous medium. So the power of H plus ion in aqueous medium is known as its uh, from its pH value. Okay. pH having the scale pH is the pH having the scale from 0 to 14. Okay, this is pH scale. Mid value is 7. 0 to 7 is acidic range. 0 to 7 is acidic range, and 7 to 14 is basic range. Okay, and 7 is for neutral medium. Okay, so from 0 to 14 pH range is increases. Okay, 0 to 7, if the range is between 0 to 7, that means the substance is acidic. If pH of any substances uh, showing value between 7 to 14, so it will be basic substances. Remember, if pH value is high, if pH value is high, that means less acidic. Okay, less acidic, and less acidic means more basic. And if pH value is low, that means more acidic. More acidic means less basic. Okay,
Sir,
yes.
sir, when the sir pH is increasing from 0 to 7, sir, it is also becoming little less acidic, though it is acidic in range.
0 to 7, that means pH value of 0, that means more acidic. pH value of 7 means less acidic. 0 to 7, if we are moving, then acidity decreases. Acidic character decreases and basic character increases. But if the value remains between 0 to 7, it is acidic. But near about 7 means it is less acidic.
Okay, sir.
Suppose we have two substances. One is showing pH equal to 2 and another is showing pH equal to 5.6. Suppose this acid gel. So both the values are in between acidic range. So both are the acidic, but pH 2 is the lower value, so it will be more acidic. pH 5.6 more value, so it will be less acidic. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So acid then showing its pH value in the range, actual value is 5.6. Sometimes its value uh, found in the range that is 5.6 to 3. That means sometimes weak acid to strong acid can be formed. Now, why this acid rain forms? How? So the acid rain forms due to the some uh, some large amount of some some large amount of products which are coming from the combustion of automobile fuels or by industry. Okay, those substances when discharged into the atmosphere, they form mineral acid after the dissolving in rainwater. Okay, some substances which are produced in after the combustion of automobile fuels or industry or burning, those components getting discharged into the atmosphere, and after that they will dissolve in the rainwater, then it is formed acid rain. Okay, have you noted down till now till that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So basically, now we will read cause and formation of acid rain. Okay, cause and formation of acid rain. So remember that uh, we can say that sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, and carbon dioxide, which are producing which are producing due to due to combustion of fossil fuels. Okay, due to the combustion of fossil fuels, when discharged in the discharged into the atmosphere and dissolve in dissolve in water, forming, basically it is rainwater, dissolve in rainwater and forming mineral acid. Okay, by due to the combustion of fossil fuels which containing basically fossil fuels which contain carbon, nitrogen, sulfur as a component. When after the combustion of those compounds, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, carbon dioxide produced, and those compounds discharge into the atmosphere, and when they mixes with rainwater, it forms acid rain. Okay, so now what is the reaction? What are the reactions for the formation of acid rain? Now look at here. Carbon present in those fossil fuels, when that in combust, it will react with oxygen, so it will form CO2. Now this CO2 will dissolve in rainwater, so it will form H2CO3. That is H2CO3. That is carbonic acid. This is the weak acid. Okay, carbonic acid. This is the weak acid. When acid rain contains only carbonic acid, then its pH value will be in the range 5.6 because this is weak acid. But when sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide mixes in addition to carbon dioxide, then it will form mineral acid. Mineral acid means sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and they are strong acid. So the pH value of those acid rain comes fall into the range 5.6 to 3, near about to 3, because they are strong acid. Okay, so if any fossil fuel contains suppose contains nitrogen. Okay, so nitrogen reacting with oxygen, it forms NO. Okay, it forms NO. After this, after the complete combustion, this NO then burns with O2. It gives us NO2. Now this NO2, when dissolves in water, it forms nitrous acid, HNO2, plus also nitric acid, HNO3. Okay, this is nitrous acid, this is nitric acid. This is nitrous acid, this is nitric acid. Lastly, if contains sulfur, fossil fuel contains sulfur, so it reacts with O2. So initially it forms sulfur dioxide SO2, SO2 again reacts with O2, it forms SO3. Okay, so sulfur dioxide and sulfur trioxide react with water to form H2SO4. Okay, which is the main cause of acid rain. So if now we can say SO3 plus H2O. Direct if we are written, then it is H2SO4. That is sulfuric acid. Okay. So this is the overall reaction for the formation of acid rain. Note it down quickly.
Yes, sir. Done, sir.
Okay. Next, harmful effect of acid rain. Harmful effects of acid rain. Remember, it is the acidic in nature. Acid rain is acidic in nature. So it affects the soil. Okay, soil in which plants are growing. Okay, so if the soil becomes more acidic due to the acid rain, so it will lose its capacity to grow the plants. Okay, due to that, the uh, plants will not grow properly. So there will be a lack of food, lack of forest, and also the soil capacity will be diminished. Okay, so you can say that uh, acid rain, acid rain uh, removes calcium and potassium, that is basic ingredients of soil. Okay, thus 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 making it lost its fertility. Okay, acid rain affects, it will increase the acidic character by removing the basic material, and due to this soil loses its fertility. Second, it affects water bodies too. It affects water bodies too. If acid rain will enter into the lake, pond, river, sea, so the water bodies, that means the plants or the animals which are living in that pond, river, they they will get in harm. They will get harm. Okay, aquatic life will be hampered, etc. Done. Done.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Third and most important, it affects actually it damage basically. It affects sculpt- sculptural materials or the old monuments. Okay, because the sculptural materials or the monuments which are made, they are made up of marble or limestone. Okay, so basically marble and limestone both are contains calcium. So the acid present in acid rain reacts with those marble, that's in basically calcium, to convert it into the another material. Like suppose limestone or marble contains calcium carbonate. When it reacts with H2SO4, when acid rain in come contact acid rain comes into the contact with those monuments, the reaction between them will form calcium sulfate, CO2, and water. Okay, if nitric acid comes contact, then it forms calcium nitrate plus CO2 plus water. Okay, so due to that, the white color of marble getting removed, being removed, and it will be yellowish, turns yellowish because calcium sulfate is turns quite yellowish. Okay, this is called this is called marble cancer. This is called marble cancer, due to which Taj Mahal is getting due to which Taj Mahal loses its shine or color. Okay, this is called marble cancer. So if you will be asked what is marble cancer, so you have to told that the Taj Mahal or the old monuments which are formed by marble, when acid rains come contact with them, then the marble present on the monument reacts with H2SO4 or nitric acid which are present in acid rain, forms the precipitate of calcium sulfate, calcium nitrate, due to which they are getting colored and the color becomes fade. Okay. Lastly, we can say that it affects human. human body also. It affects humans body too. Okay, because acid content. So if acid will come contact into the human body, so it will cause severe burn for the human skin. So it affects humans too. Okay. So now, how we can reduce the effect of acid rain? Do by our normal practice, by changing our normal practice, because we can use those kind of fuels in which the amount of carbon, amount of sulfur, amount of nitrogen present is very much less. Okay, I think you have already heard about that. That is, the new automobile systems are launching BS6 system. Okay, BS6 means Bharat Stage 6. So basically, in this type of automobiles, the engine is made up of in that way that it will release less amount of sulfur into the atmosphere. So it will cause less pollution to the atmosphere. You have heard about it, BS6 and BS4. I think, have you any idea? Hello, hello.
Sir, no idea.
Okay, no problem. At present, the modern bikes or modern cars which are releasing, which are producing, those all kind of bikes and cars in which the engine is being used, those engines releases less amount of sulfur to the atmosphere. So it will cause less pollution to the human, less pollution to the atmosphere also. Okay, so by our changing the normal habits, we can save, we can reduce the harmful effects of acid rain. Because if we are not using those kind of fuel in which sulfur is present more amount, so it will be help. Or we can use scrubber. Okay, or we can use scrubber. Scrubber is a arrangement of system. Okay, scrubber is a arrangement of system, that is a device, one kind of device that absorbs gaseous material. Okay, so if it will release less amount of gaseous material, so it will reduce the harmful effects of atmosphere. Okay, the next topic is global warming and greenhouse effects. So, what is global warming? We know that what is global warming? The increase of earth temperature due to the some greenhouse gases. Okay, some greenhouse gases is called global warming. We can say that the increase in earth temperature or the rise in average temperature of Earth, the rise in average temperature of Earth's surface due to greenhouse gases is called global warming. Okay. So now what is greenhouse gas? Okay. What is greenhouse gas? Remember carbon dioxide, methane, CFC, water vapors, ozone, those are called greenhouse gases because they affect greenhouse. So we have to first understand what is greenhouse effect. Next, greenhouse effect. Understand what is greenhouse effect. Look at here. At the polar end of Earth, or the two poles, North poles and South poles, the temperature of the Earth at the poles is very much less, near about to minus. Okay, so on that state, on that place, the farming is being very much difficult because of lack of heat capacity. So they they form such kind of system, like they form a house made up of glass. Okay, uh, try to understand the concept. What is greenhouse? Then I will tell greenhouse effect. At the polar end of Earth, suppose see the polar end of Earth, North Pole and South Pole, there is very much less temperature, very less temperature. So the farming will be difficult. So to live, the people have to farming because either what they will eat. So they form a house that is made up of glass. So sunlight, when sunlight comes into the house, it will enters into the home house, but it cannot get back outside. Okay, the energy coming from this radiation will be trapped here, and it will help to increase the temperature inside this house. And due to by the use of that temperature, the farming will be done. Okay, so trapping of trapping of energy is called here greenhouse effect. Okay, so this greenhouse effect generally happens in our atmosphere by the carbon dioxide and water vapor. Okay, carbon dioxide and water vapor which are present in atmosphere, trap the radiation. Okay, trap the radiation which are coming from the sun, and due to that, it increases the temperature of the earth. Okay, this is called greenhouse effect. Okay, why it is called greenhouse effect? Understand, the in polar
Yes, sir.
region In polar region, one kind of house or home made up of glass where sun radiation of sun comes into the greenhouse, but it cannot reflect. It cannot get outside. It cannot get back outside. So it will be kept in this glass, and it will increase the temperature inside the room. That will be enhance the grow of plants. Okay, this is called greenhouse effect. Greenhouse. Okay, and the the gaseous substance present which will absorb the radiation. This is called greenhouse effect. Okay, so normally greenhouse effect definition is heating of the earth, heating of the earth and its environment and its environment due to solar radiation trapped by carbon dioxide and water vapor, carbon dioxide and water vapor in the atmosphere is called greenhouse effect. Understand what is greenhouse effect and from where the term is coming?
Yes, sir.
Okay. From polar region, it affects the terms is some. In polar region, they made up of uh, the they form glass structure, okay, which called greenhouse, and in which they used to eat grow green plants in polar region because the heat energy enters into the greenhouse, but it does not allow radiate the heat energy to escape. Okay, so heating of the greenhouse, and that those kind of effects also showing in the atmosphere by the CO2 and water vapor, so it is called the greenhouse effect. And those kind of greenhouse effects when increasing the earth atmosphere is called global warming. Okay, when due to the global greenhouse effect, average temperature of earth increases, this is called global warming. Okay, so some greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide, CFC, chlorofluorocarbon, methane, ozone, water vapor, etc. are greenhouse gas. Those are greenhouse gas. Greenhouse gas means they absorb radiation. Okay, done.
Yes.
Now, the effects of global warming. Effects of global warming. Do heading. Remember, due to the global warming, if the average temperature of Earth will increase, the average temperature of Earth will increase, then due to that temperature, the ice present in the poles or the glaciers will be melt, okay, will be melted down, and due to that, it will increase the level of seawater, okay, that will cause flood. Clear? So we can say that we can say that uh, due to global warming, due to global warming, glaciers and polar ice caps have started to melt, have started to melt, and gradually this may lead to an increase in sea level. Okay, this will cause flood in several coastal areas. Okay, several coastal areas like India, Bangladesh, okay, which are present around the coastal areas. Okay. This is the main disadvantage or main harmful effect. Second, it will hamper it will hamper the uh, pattern of pattern of change of season. It will hamper the pattern of change of season. Like we are saying now that rainy season does not come at the time. Uh, Summer season keeps a time so many presents long time. Winter doesn't come at proper time. So this are hamper of change of season. Okay, write it down quickly. Done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Lastly, last topic is ozone and its function. Okay. Ozone and its function. So ozone basically oxygen oxygen converts into the ozone by the absorbing UV radiation which are coming from the solar system. Okay, solar radiation, that is UV radiation. It is high energy radiation. Okay, high energy radiation, high oxygen by absorbing UV radiation, it converts into the ozone. This ozone layer prevents us from the UV radiation because ozone absorbing that UV. Okay, but due at past some time, this ozone layer above the atmosphere, it been depletion, and due to depletion, UV radiation is directly comes into the earth, and that's why human is getting harmed. Okay, so how this ozone forms? Now, when UV radiation comes, oxygen absorbs UV and breaks down into two oxygen atoms. Then one oxygen atom reacts with another oxygen molecule to give us O3. Okay. So overall reaction is O2 plus UV, it gives O3. Okay. In past some years, depletion of ozone layer occurs. Okay, which leads to formation of an ozone hole. Ozone hole. Suppose this is a layer. Suppose this is a layer of ozone, but here depletion of ozone is starting. Depletion. So here create a hole. Okay. So the solar radiation will now come into the earth by this hole. Okay. This is called depletion of ozone layer. So how this depletion of ozone layer is being occurred? This is very much harmful because if ozone layer does not exist, then UV radiation directly comes into the atmosphere, directly comes into the earth, and it will directly hamper the human body and plants and everything. Okay, if we are directly faced to the UV radiation, our skin will be burned. We will got a some kind of difficult diseases like cancer. It will causes a cancer. Okay, so you have to make sure that the ozone layer will be present there. So how the destruction of ozone layer? Okay, how ozone layer is being destructed? Destruction of ozone layer. So many compounds are responsible for the depletion of ozone layer. Okay, basically the refrigerants we are use. Okay, refrigerants we are use that releases CFC, chlorofluorocarbon. Okay, which is main reason to the depletion of ozone layer. CFC means chlorofluorocarbon. So suppose we have taken one chlorofluorocarbon. Okay, in the presence of UV radiation, it will break down like CF2Cl and another Cl dot. This dot means it is free radical. We know that cation and anion, here no charge separation, it is called free radical. Okay, and here also free radical. Now this free radical Cl dot will react with ozone gas. and it forms ClO in gaseous state plus O2. Here, from here, one oxygen will be absorbed by Cl. Okay, this ClO then reacts with oxygen to this Cl, and that will be Cl3 radical and oxygen gas. And this Cl dot will again carry out this reaction simultaneously. Okay. This is the first reason. That is from CFC. Okay, that is from CFC. That means freon, fluorofluorocarbons. Okay, enters into the atmosphere because the excessive use in refrigerants, propellants, etc. Okay. Secondly, we can say that uh, fuel of planes, fuel of planes, aeroplanes. Okay, when fuel of plane burns, it produces lots of nitric oxide. Okay, NO. So NO in atmosphere, it comes into the contact with oxygen, it forms NO2 and O2. So ozone layer being decomposed. Okay, this NO2 will also react with ozone to give us NO3 and O2. This is how ozone layer gets decomposed or depleted. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, note it down. Okay, so chapter is complete. Okay, having any doubt?
No, sir.
Destruction of ozone layer is very much important. Okay, you have to remember the reaction, and just to remember definitions of global warming, effects of global warming, what is greenhouse effect, etc. Theory portion, and the reactions of acid rain. That is cause of acid rain. That reaction, those kind of reactions. Okay, okay. Syllabus complete. All we know, no chapters remaining.
So atmospheric pollution completed, sir.
Yes, atmospheric pollution completed.
So, sir, next class there will be some means again the repetition of chapters.
Yes, there
Means
will
revision.
again repetition of chapters.
Sir, can you, sir, again, sir, can we, sir, again revise the periodic table, sir?
Periodic table, okay, no problem.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, that is all for today. See you in next class. Okay,
Okay, sir. Bye, sir.
bye. Okay. Everybody note it down. Hello, everybody completed.